Run, river, run, run through the hills. Run, river, run to the sea. Run, river, run to your place beneath the sun. Run, river, run over me.
Welcome to be my guest. This is Jan Lewis. We have today someone who grew up in Leicester. She is an author, and her name is Catherine Zebrowski. Her book, you're going to love the cover, Sleeping Backwards. And Paul, if you can zero in on this, it's this girl in the story loves astronomy and telescopes. And this is, did you pick the cover?
A friend of ours took those pictures in his backyard observatory.
Yeah.
And I sent the three of them to the publishing company and asked if they could use one. Yeah. And they used all three. So it was very, yeah.
And they sort of mixed it together.
Yeah, they did like a collage, and I love how they did the cover, yeah.
It is perfect. And how she has written it, you probably can't see it on camera, sleeping and then upside down, backwards.
Yeah.
Where did you come up with the title?
The title came from a couple of different places. One of the inspirations from this book was a book called The Sleepwalkers by Arthur Kessler. And he talks about early astronomers, Kepler, and different scientists. And he talks about them like their real life. Mm-hmm. And he talks about their genius, but also that they were coping with real life situations. Right. And sort of their oddities, and that they discovered things, but sometimes they didn't realize what they had discovered. Yeah. So I love that book. Yeah. So that was the inspiration for the title. And one of my characters, as a young child, like a toddler, does sleepwalk.
Yes.
So that's
Did you sleepwalk when you were a kid?
A little bit, not as much as my character.
No. This book, how long did it take you to write? It's not too big.
Yeah, I've been working on it, believe it or not, since 1999. The first draft I wrote in 1999, I wanted to write a novel about the year 2000 before it happened. So
hence the millennium
theme.
Yeah.
Hence the millennium theme.
Yeah.
So one of my the daughter character, whose time frame is March of 1999 to March of 2000, I wrote that draft in 1999.
So you are now. Do you have children at home?
I did have children at home while I was working on it. So yeah, that.
So this gives you more time now. They're not around.
Yeah, right. And also I retired about a year and a half ago.
Retired?
So yes.
What were you doing?
I was working at Worcester State University in the library there. So, and I have been working on this off and on, raising the children, working full time. So, and after I retired, it gave me a chance to really go back to it and rewrite it again.
This is your first novel book, but you've done poetry. Show us some of your poetry books.
My poetry books, my mom came from the west coast of Ireland.
Okay.
And I have pictures and poems, a lot of them. I lived in Ireland from 75 to 76.
Well, is this your mother in this?
My mom and my aunt, when they...
And gone stealing.
My mom and my aunt both emigrated from Ireland in the 20s. You can kind of tell from the picture they took when they came here that, they kind of like the flapper look, and they had the hair done.
And then Immigrant,
that is a picture. My aunt is in there somewhere. That's the ship that she came over on.
And there is a picture of you. When was this taken? What year?
That picture of me was probably taken about 8 years ago.
I was going to say high school. You look
wonderful. No.
No, it looks like when you were little, when you were in high school.
That picture of me is about from 8 years ago. I just published these two in the last 5 years.
What beautiful pictures. So did you self-publish these two?
I've self-published those through Lulu.com. Yeah. And the other one, Sleepwalking Backwards, was published through a small publishing company, Touchpoint Press. And that was a great experience. I had an editor for the first time, and she was wonderful, and things went well.
Now you have been appearing. I know you don't have a publicist, which is gold in the head. But how are you getting yourself scheduled to get out there?
Well, I have worked in a lot of libraries, so I kind of know libraries. So
how about the bookstores?
In the bookstores, I did do reading at a bookstore, Tatnick Bookseller.
Perfect.
Yes.
How about The Book Lovers Gourmet in
Oh yeah, I'm gonna look into them
Wonderful
for
people.
sure. Yeah. And also another thing about Sleepwalking Backwards is there were a lot of Worcester and Worcester County places in it.
Yes, I noticed.
So
Yeah.
it was wonderful. I did a reading at Worcester State University yesterday, last night, which was really cool because I went to school there and I worked there, and there are places. Some of my characters are there in the 70s.
Yeah.
And I also have a scene where my characters are at the Tatnick Bookseller when it used to be on Chandler Street in Worcester, so it was cool to do a reading there,
Definitely.
you know.
On the front cover it says, sometimes it takes a ghost to bridge the gap between a mother and a daughter. Can you explain that to us?
Okay, the book is kind of mother-daughter, kind of mystery, a little bit of unearthly. It's regular life that goes a little bit, ordinary life, and it goes a little beyond the extraordinary.
Yeah, you thought a little bit outside the box.
Yes. And the characters, every other chapter is the mother or the daughter. And the mother's time is 1978 when her daughter is just turning 1. She's had a traumatic experience and she's not talking. So that's kind of the mystery in it, what was going on with Gloria. And then every other chapter you fast forward to Amanda, who is, her time is between 1999 and 2000. She's a young woman thinking about getting married. She has a fiance, thinking of her career. And whatever happened with her mom, even though she doesn't really have memories that young, is still somewhat affecting her. And so throughout the story and throughout the chapters, towards the end, Amanda finds out what happened with her mom.
Sure.
And then I had to have 2 endings too, because
Yeah.
it was the Gloria ending and the Amanda ending.
Is there going to be a sequel to this?
I'm not sure.
Are you writing right now? Is there another book?
I'm writing poetry right now.
You're doing your poetry.
I'm doing another poetry collection, and I also, in the early 90s, I wrote a book about 9th century Ireland, the monks, because I really like illuminated manuscripts, but I never finished it. I couldn't get an ending, so I think I'm probably going to go back to that and try to
And
rework that
When
some.
was that you thought of that idea?
What?
How many years ago about the monk idea?
Oh, I started writing that, I want to say, about in 1991.
That sounds like a great idea.
That was the first novel that I wrote, but I didn't get an ending to it.
And I love the cover of this. I mean, now how did that happen again? There were two things that came in on this.
Okay, yes. A book I read by Arthur Koestler called Sleepwalking Backwards, which is about early scientists and especially around the 16th, 17th century, and their odd personalities and how they kind of coped with. So it was a different take on their genius, and I loved that book. And also, one of the characters is a sleepwalker.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, has your interest in astronomy, your own personal interest, featured into this?
Well, my husband is an astronomy fanatic, so I have it. I'm surrounded by it. Have been for
You've got all the
37 years.
telescopes in your house?
Oh, I've got telescopes. I've got the NASA channel on. We have several friends. My husband is the president of the Aldrich Astronomical Society, and he goes to libraries. He and a colleague, and they put the telescopes in the libraries. So, yeah, I got lots of any research I needed. I could talk to my husband. Right.
You must have a blast because I visited with someone who had like one telescope in his living room,
Mm-hmm.
and at night that must be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
You can look up. Have you ever been to the Ecotarium?
Been to the Ecotarium, yes.
Yeah.
My husband used to, go there with his group, and also there's a scene in there at a place called Stellafane, which is in Vermont. It's an astronomy gathering that has been going on since the 30s.
Yeah.
And my husband and I have probably been there 12 or 15 times. So I have my character, Amanda, the young one, in a scene at Stellafane.
I like this too. It said, some days that there might be glasses that would normalize her peripheral vision. Did you experience that yourself?
No, I didn't myself, but I'm very interested in glass and old glass, the wobbliness of it, that could take you into another kind of way of thinking. And also, I read somewhere that people who have, probably about 10 years ago, the people who have somewhat dementia and sundowning, if you put sunglasses on them, it calms them down.
Is this true?
It is true that they found, when I was dealing with some family members who had, dementia and that, and about maybe 12 or 13 years ago, my husband and I found out that putting sunglasses, dark glasses on somebody who is sort of restless and agitated with dementia, that would calm them down. And I was really fascinated by that.
That is fact, because I was just going to ask you, because I had read that, and I thought, what a neat idea. And it worked? Yeah,
it did work somewhat, and there's a lot of things about light that, affect your brain, and you just, you don't know.
I sometimes wondered with my mom. I don't think she had dementia, but she would get confused a little bit. I think she knew who I was, and that was the problem. It was, I think there was too much going on in the nursing home. And if I had known that, I would say, Mom, try this. You might feel a little better. She didn't have dementia, but she would get like, I don't think the word is even confused. Maybe like, ugh.
A little bit anxious. It does. It can be a calming effect on somebody who is.
Will it help the rest of us if we feel
I don't know. We should try it.
I have a pair of dark glasses. I'm going to see, if you get really nervous over something.
Yes.
Put the dark glasses on. Now, how long did it take you to finish this book?
Well, I wrote the first draft in 1999, and for about 5 years, from about 2000 to about 2008, off and on, every year, probably 5 of those years, I went to a workshop at Colgate University in New York. I had my father-in-law had Parkinson's, and he had moved in with us, and I had kids. And my husband let me go away for a week every summer to work on this, and I was working on it with a writer there, and it was very, very helpful. Like, she'd give me really good suggestions, and then she'd say, you have to figure out how to do it, and that's the best kind of a mentor to have. You have to figure out, this is what you this is what I suggest, but I really can't tell you how to do it. So that was a really good mentor to have. She was wonderful.
Now, when you were finished, some authors tell me that when they finish, they're not sure they're finished. You're not sure.
Yeah, what happens, I think, is I was very happy to get an ending to this one. I had to get 2 endings, so it was really hard. And then you have to go back and put you have to change parts of it once you get the ending.
Sure.
And until somebody has published it or you've published it, it's hard not to keep tweaking it somewhat. Because then you have to make those last decisions that you never made, about content and this and that.
Getting a little bit too weighed down by the monkey mind and the details. I know when I give workshops, I write memoirs. I'm a ghostwriter.
Okay.
And when I work with somebody, I'm working with somebody almost 2 years.
Wow.
She gets I can send her a draft, and I love her. But she goes back and more details and more details. And I try to tell her, your reader isn't necessarily going to care about the color of the walls in your hospital room.
Right.
About the exact detail of what time you went down for the x-ray.
Right.
Try to avoid that because you're going to lose them.
It's
too
more
many
the
details.
Things that are unique to your situation that I think readers are interested in.
Exactly. This book, now, you said there might be, you're doing your poems, but I can see a sequel.
A couple of people have told me that, so
definitely.
Have to wait and see.
Do you now? Where have you spoken?
So far, it just came out in June. I've had readings at the Leicester Senior Center. I had a reading at the Gardner Senior Center in my area I live in Winchendon now. I've given a reading at the Gardner Public Library, Westminster, at the Worcester Public Library, which was great because I love the Worcester Public Library. And I did one last night at the Worcester Worcester State University Library. I have one coming up on September 21st. It's a Saturday morning. I'll be there around 10:30 and probably start reading around 10:45. And this is at little coffee shop in Holden on Main Street is called Sweets and Java. So that's my next one. And I've actually set some up for the spring already. In Princeton in early April, I'll be reading at the Princeton Public Library, and I'll be reading at the Winchendon Public Library in my town the last week in March of 2018. So I'm open for anybody who might want me to do a reading. They can just get in touch with me. I have a website.
And you and I were talking about Tagnuck Bookseller. I send my authors over there all the time.
Yeah.
Tagnuck Bookseller, Book Lovers Gourmet.
Book Lovers
But have you
Gourmet.
ever heard of the once a year in Dannersport, that huge New England Authors Expo?
No, I haven't heard of that.
You don't speak there, but it's a ballroom full of authors with different venues.
Oh.
And you participate, and people come in, and they go from
Yeah.
table to table.
Yeah.
It's once a year in July, and
Okay.
I send authors up there. But
Okay.
there's so many venues. We got to get you down here more to this,
Mm.
because you've got Northborough, Westborough,
Yeah.
very open. Milford's very open
Yeah.
to authors. I mean,
Yeah.
there's so many places that can suggest, but
Yeah.
get you more this away.
Right.
I think Western Mass is also very good about
Yeah,
that.
and I haven't started any readings
Over
there
the line
yet.
into Rhode Island, which isn't far,
Right,
into Connecticut.
yeah.
We could get you more. Worcester, you came close.
Yeah.
Holden isn't far.
And I've
But
also,
swear.
I've also read at Annie's Bookstop as the
In Worcester?
yeah, in
Yeah, I bet
Worcester.
it's a small, cute little store.
Yeah, and I was the featured speaker. They have the Worcester storytellers there.
Yeah.
So they've been really good at promoting my work.
Right. Did you find that you did better at a library than the senior center?
Actually, I did pretty well at the senior centers. I was surprised.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found
You
a
know?
lot of the authors say, I'm not going to go back to a senior center. I didn't do so well.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, well, it could be the genre that you're writing into.
Yeah, it could be, yeah, but I had a real nice time at the senior centers, and, I had signed probably 5 or 6 books at each of them, which I thought was pretty good,
Well, you've got your husband living there with all of the astronomy things.
Yeah.
And so, did he help you a lot with information on this?
Well, when I was going to, especially when somebody accepted it and they were going to publish it, I kind of knew what I was saying, but at the last minute I had to talk to him a little bit, and it's funny because I had to change some things at the very end. One of the endings, Amanda's ending, I have her looking at the sky, and I had some planets up that weren't up that time because it was a specific time.
Oh, okay.
So at all those things, my husband and one of his friends, I went to them and I said, can you tell me if this is accurate? So I did have to change something a little bit at the very end because I wanted Amanda to see I wanted her to see the Milky Way, and I had her looking at it at like 10 o'clock at night, so I had to have her fall asleep and wake up again about 3 o'clock in the morning when it was actually visible
Well,
in
you've
March
learned a lot about astronomy yourself.
I have, yeah.
When you met your husband, did you know already that he was into this very big time?
Oh yeah, he was already. One of the
Yeah.
first things we did was look through his telescope.
The one up at the Ecotarium, I remember taking my son. He had a little girlfriend at the time. They were
Yeah.
like school. And
Yeah.
So I brought her along, and the room gets all dark.
Oh,
Right. The one
yes,
in Worcester.
absolutely.
Completely dark, and I thought, what is going to happen?
Oh,
and then it
yeah.
finally came on. I
Right.
was amazed.
Yeah, uh-huh.
I love that. I
They had
didn't
some
realize
really
I liked
wonderful,
it.
yeah.
Yeah. Now, I would think, honestly, if you went to the Ecotarium with your book,
Oh,
don't
I
forget
hadn't
places.
thought about that,
See
yeah.
what I'm saying? I'm used to this.
Yes.
Places that have these kind of telescopes, cameras.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah.
They have a bookstore there.
Oh, they do.
Oh
yeah.
yeah, many
I'll have
places
to talk to
like
them
this
about having a
science
reading
places
there.
have
Great.
bookstores.
Mhm.
I just when it came in the mail for me, I saw the cover and I went, wow. Is it an actual picture that was made?
Yes, those 3 pictures were taken by a friend of ours.
Try it again here.
Our 2 friends, our friends in Gardner, Mass. We're in Winchendon, they're right nearby. His name is Kevin. Their names are Kevin and Nancy Boucher.
Yeah.
And actually, he took those in his backyard
Yeah.
with his backyard telescope. He's an astrophotographer.
What's
And
an astrophotographer?
is astronomer who takes pictures.
Yeah.
And he took those 3 pictures, and actually those pictures are all available if you wanted to buy them. the Aldrich Astronomical Society has a website, and they have about 4 or 5 astrophotographers, including Kevin, who take pictures and they put them on their website to make money for the society. So those are all available for purchase.
Catherine, how can people reach you to get your book?
People can reach me through my website. It's Catherine Zebrowski Writer. .wordpress.com. If you just put that through Google, you'll get to me. And you can also get it on Amazon, and you can get it on BarnesandNoble.com. And if you go to my website, you can see where I'm reading, and I also have a Facebook page under my name. And you can also email me through the website, but if you do that, make sure you put your email in the body of the message, so I'll make sure I can get back to you, because I can always meet people if they want a signed copy.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
One thing I have trouble with when I see an author advert, I think I saw you advertised. You were speaking somewhere. It was in the Sunday paper listing.
Oh yes.
That's how I think I saw it. Then I went online to check it out. And what was I just going to say? Some authors, I don't know why, they forget to put the word contact where I can hit it and find the email.
Oh.
So I've had to scour them down through Facebook, which is, I feel odd doing it. But if it's the only way you can reach an author, now I think you had your own, I think.
I have a website, so I'm going to make sure now that you said that it says contact, where
definitely, it's
or how to contact me, or
And it's not just authors, it's other people. They'll have something going on, or they may be a CEO of a company, whatever it is.
Yeah.
You pop up their website.
Yeah.
This is great. Where's the word contact?
Contact, right.
And then if you go down to contact, sometimes, I hate this part, but I'd much rather have them list their own email and I'll take care of it. But they'll have this, the questionnaire.
Oh, I see.
And then the thing that, if you see it correctly, I'm not an alien.
Oh, yeah. I see
that,
what you mean, yeah.
Oh, and then it keeps coming back. And I get it right. I know I do it. It keeps coming back.
But the easier to contact someone, the better.
Just have your right there, and they can either click it right then, or they can do it on their own.
Right.
But I said, gee, don't put people through the ropes. They're not going to do it.
Yeah,
they're going to say,
absolutely.
Forget about it. If I can't connect with her directly, I'm not going to.
Yeah, so I'll see what I have up for that. Yeah,
definitely. Now, with your astronomy, if you did write a sequel, it would continue with the that type of...
Yeah, if it was a sequel, it would involve Amanda.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You're going to add some new characters, you think?
I'm not sure.
Are you thinking maybe of a different type of book?
I'm not sure. Like I said, Jason would probably be in it, and Peter.
Yeah.
So, yeah, some of those characters would be in it. Yeah. And also, I think I may go back to the 9th Century Ireland book, too, right now, that I have mostly written, but it needs some more work, and it needs an ending.
You went to Worcester State. You graduated from Worcester State.
Right.
What did you major in?
I majored in English and art. It was all very,
I can relate, yeah. Definitely.
Very liberal arts.
Did you do the whole 4 years? You did the whole?
I did the whole 4 years, yes.
And then you worked there in their library.
Yeah, I worked there for the last maybe 6 years.
Yeah.
I've worked in a lot of different libraries, both academic and public, so I love working in libraries. I don't have a degree as a librarian in MLS, so I work as a clerk in libraries at the circulation desk doing interlibrary loan, but I love libraries, yeah.
Don't you love the C.W. Mars?
Mm-hmm.
Of course, we have it right here in Upton.
Yeah.
And by the way, before I forget, her book will be here in the library downstairs. Look on the author's wall. If it's not up yet, ask Matt, our librarian. I'm sure he can find it. And Matt's been on with us. Great. He does a great job. What was I just going to say? The library. Yeah.
Yes.
The one at Clark that I took my son to, we visited recently. My grandfather graduated Clark, and I took my 25-year-old son over there. Wanted him to see the heritage of what his his great-grandpa did, 1908. They had the archives division.
Okay.
And they kept the 1908 yearbook.
Wow.
We weren't allowed to, we had to wash our hands first.
Yeah.
And they put it on at first I didn't know what she was talking about. Wash your hands. I'm like, my hands are clean.
Yeah.
She says, no, you have to before. And it was in this leather V.
Wow.
And they put the book delicately in that. And we could go through and see the pictures of my grandfather.
Wow.
And my son could tell. They must have archives at Worcester State.
Yeah. So, your grandfather went to Clark?
My grandfather graduated Clark in 1908.
Mm-hmm.
Majored in economics.
Mm-hmm.
gosh,
Yeah.
debating, no surprise here, debating team,
Mhm.
all kinds of things. He was a
Yeah.
little guy. He was
So you
5'4",
had
he was on the
pictures
basketball
of,
team.
so there were pictures of him there.
There were pictures
Wow,
of him there. They
cool.
called him Louis.
Uh-huh.
You know,
Yeah.
no, but when I saw
Nice.
basketball, I nearly cracked up. I said,
Yeah.
I said to the lady there, I said, my grandfather's 5'4". She
Yeah.
says, back then, they weren't into the height thing so
Yeah,
much.
right.
Now, when was Worcester State, had that been founded when Clark? Obviously, Clark, I think, was late 1800s.
Yeah, Worcester State was, I graduated on its 100th anniversary, which was 1974. So 1874 was it turned, I think, from being the normal school to Worcester State that year. It was the first year it was Worcester State.
And I bet it was Worcester State College.
Yes.
So I went to Plymouth up in New Hampshire,
Mm-hmm.
and it just turned not long after into university.
Yes.
I guess they have to do that now because they're getting so big.
Yeah, Worcester State University probably got established instead of a college or university about, I want to say 7 years ago, because it was right around the time that I started working in the library there.
But you can see all the ones that were state colleges are now called state universities.
Right.
I think it sounds a little more glamorous anyway. Like, well, I'm going to go to this state
Yeah.
university. One more time, how can people reach you and your book, Catherine?
Okay. You can reach me by going to my website, which is catherinezebrowskiwriter.wordpress.com. And you can also reach me through Facebook under Catherine Zebrowski. And under my website, you can email me. And make sure that you put your email in there so I can get back to you there. Thank you.
That is wonderful. Catherine, when you have another book coming up, let us know.
I will.
Check downstairs if you're, I always assume that they're right here. Of course, they'll be at the Upton Library. But if you're from out of town, out of state, you now know, out of the country, you know how to reach Catherine and her books. We'll look forward to the next one.
Thank
Even the
you.
poetry. This is great. We'll look
Thank
forward to
you.
anything you've got coming.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Good
Thanks
luck
so
to
much
you.
for having me.
You're welcome. We'll see you next time and be my guest.
Thanks.